everyone, it's Dawn Duvall. I'm a little bit early, so I'm going to go ahead and get the chat set up and adjust the camera just a tad. I'm trying to make it a little bit lighter in here. It just looks like it's dark, but then if I bring the light in, it really messes me up here. Maybe we need to go like that. Oh, there we go. That's better. How's that? All right, let me load in the chat. And we will get started here in about, probably about 3 or 4 minutes. All right, so let's see. We want to do the chat, show on stream. No, we don't want to do that. Just bring in the chat. Here we go. Are we on here? Yep, we are here. I'm just going to put in my little welcome message. All right, so come on in and let me know if you're out there. I appreciate that. If you don't, you can watch incognito. That's fine. I'm just going to type in a little message to y'all. Okay, as I create this card while having fun. Okay, whoops. Let's see here. Did we go up there? There we go. All right. So we are live, Facebook and YouTube. Welcome, everyone. If you are watching on YouTube and you're new to my channel, welcome. Make sure you click the bell, subscribe and click the bell. That will notify you every time I upload a new video, which I do at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. It just depends. And if you're watching on Facebook, make sure that if you like what you're watching, you share with your other crafty friends. I greatly appreciate it. It helps me to reach out to other crafters who may like what I create in my craziness. So with that being said, we'll give it a few more minutes for everybody to pop in, and then we'll get started. Again, depending on how much I talk, we probably will have this done within 45 minutes. So that way I won't take up too much of your time. So that's what that is. And I will give you my spiel here in just a few minutes with my introduction. It's right at 12 o'clock. So we'll give it a couple more minutes. Another minute or two for others to pop on, and then we will get started. In the meantime, as I'm running my mouth, I'm going to sign into my Facebook page to make sure that we are streaming in the right place. So let me get in there. I think we should be on there. And there's about a 25 to 30, well, I don't think it's 30 seconds. It's a good 20-second delay in the recording from me and then what you see and hear. So, all right, we are in there. I've got it on mute. We are good to go. All right. So we are live and we're good to go. I can see myself on there. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but whatever. So, all right, come on in, pull up a seat, get your water, tea, whatever it is that you're drinking. I've got my water, so I'm going to have a sip of that. I don't know about y'all, but I like my water cold, and I fill it up with lots of ice, and then I just keep adding water to it throughout the day. I don't know why it is that way, but I really like it ice cold. I don't like it room temperature, and I need to have my ice. And I've got my Stampin' Up thing that I bought. I think I'm wearing it out, so I think I need to buy another one. Can you see that? It's my favorite color, teal, turquoise, all that. I mean, it's in good condition. It's worn out on the bottom, but it's okay. Okay, so I'm going to just do a little bit of chatting right here. And before we get started, let me go ahead and introduce myself, and then I'm going to start chatting. I'm Dawn Duvall. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. And I have been with Stampin' Up about a little over 14 years, and I live in Fort Myers, Florida. I previously lived, we've been here about 3 years. I previously lived in the Villages, Florida, where I taught classes there for 10 years and, well, 9 years, I guess, in two of our different rec centers. So I had a nice group of ladies that we met in person. Now I strictly do everything online, except for I do hold once a month a class here in my community through our academy. But you can find me on Facebook and YouTube. Every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m., I do a Facebook Live class where I do 2 to 3 greeting cards. Then every other Friday is Fundamental Friday. Like today, we're going to be doing, normally it's a technique. This is kind of a technique class. And then once a month, I do a creation anticipation, and that's normally on a Saturday. I'm trying to put them in between. So probably next Saturday would be the creation one. And that's where we use a sketch. And then I just show you how it's easy to make cards. So if you're just starting out, or if you're a seasoned stamper or paper crafter, I think you'll like what I do because it kind of covers all the areas. So with that being said, that's where we are. I hope you enjoy the class today. If you have any questions, I've got the comments open so you can type something in there, and then I will respond to that as soon as I see it pop up or shortly thereafter. One of the things I did want to mention is my birthday is coming up. The only reason I share that with you is that every year I do a fundraiser for the Poodle and Pooch Rescue and located in Central Florida. And let me think about how long it's been. It's been 12, 13, we're in 14. It's been about 12 years ago. I rescued a dog, Riley, from the Poodle Pooch Rescue and had her for 10, 11, 12 years. I got her certified as a therapy dog. She was a wonderful dog. She loved everybody. Everybody loved my dog. And we made hundreds of visits to assisted living and memory care. Well, she recently passed away 3 months ago, and I miss her dearly. So I have set up a fundraiser to raise funds in her honor. And I want to thank those who have already donated. I will be making my donation to that as well. But if you have it in your heart, any amount, if it's $1, $5, $6, $10, it doesn't matter. Whatever you can donate, I would greatly appreciate it. This organization is run by all volunteers. So they take all the dogs that nobody else wants. And it's funny because at Thanksgiving, they'll send out a thing, we'll take your leftovers. So they take the older dogs, the blind dogs, the three-legged dogs, the dogs that have health issues. They all go into foster. And if they're being fostered before they're adopted, then they pay for, if you're a foster, they'll pay for all the medical care and food for the fostering. And then once you adopt, you go and pick the dog up. And they're typically located in the central part of Florida. So they work off all of their donations, and it is a registered, as far as your donations and stuff. So if you have it, if you can find that in your heart just to donate a few dollars, that would be I would greatly appreciate it. If you go to my personal site, Dawn Duval, or it might be on my Facebook page, but if you look me up on my personal page, Dawn Duval, there is right at the top below my greeting, there is a link there with where you can donate directly to them as part of my birthday present. So I would greatly appreciate that. And I do thank you in advance for anything that you can do to help out the dogs and the kitties, but mainly it's the dogs, because that's all in my heart. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about? Don't forget, which you've all heard me mention this before, we are doing our buy a part of a suite, not the whole suite, but anything that's included in a suite, and get the second one half off. And I went through that Tuesday. I think I did it on Tuesday night's video, which was recorded. If you haven't watched that one, I did the Kintsugi Inspiration stamp set. It's the Japanese of cracked porcelain. And I showed you how to make kimono cards. So if you haven't seen that one, go to my YouTube page, Shall We Stamp. Very easy. They're adorable cards, and I think you'll like that. But if you have any questions, you can always reach out. Let me know. All right, so today we are going to do a diagonal easel card, and I'm going to walk you through how to do this. And then I'm going to, at the end, I'll show you what I did, my first mistake, because I've not done one of these before. And it pays to read the directions, and I'll go over that once we get done with the actual card. So with that being said, I am going to turn the camera down. So give me just a minute to do that. I'm going to flip it and get it to where I get you situated on the table. And I should have it right side up. Hang on. There we go. And just give me one moment. I just need to bring my arm out of my camera and bring the camera part down just a tad because I want to make sure we're in the camera. I think that's good. What do y'all think? I think that's pretty good. We can see everything. All right, so this is the card that we're making, and it's really, once you get the hang of it and read the instructions, it's really pretty easy to do. Hey, Karen, welcome. Yeah, I know. Thank God it's I know it's the 13th. Ooh, Friday the 13th. It's a really easy card, but it really does make a wow statement. And again, when I get done, I'll show you my boo-boo card that I did. Just to make sure you read the instructions or follow what I'm telling you to do and not to do. Okay. So we're going to cut paper. And this is where I'll show you what to do and don't do what I did, but that's here and there. And I'll also show you another way, if you do, how you can fix that. So this is the card, and this is using our new Secret C cardstock. And then this is the paper. If you haven't seen this paper, you need to go to my online store, and I have the links down below the video. And give me 1 second. I'm trying to reach it. This is the beautiful gallery paper. This paper is so gorgeous. It's got all these different, there's an outdoor scene. If you can see that, let me turn it this way. Outdoor, like a barn. You've got these beautiful flowers. I'm just going to scan it. And it's got stuff on the back side. So here's like a stormy thing. Here's, we use this card in one. I mean, just look at all this paper. Isn't this gorgeous? This paper, I think it's $12.50. And you get 48 sheets of 6x6 paper. So look at that. Isn't this gorgeous? You've got everything for all throughout the year. And then the backs are pretty much different colored. Some are black and white, some are outdoor scenes, and some are just plain. So if you haven't seen this, go to my online store, take a look at it. It's $12.50. You get 48 sheets. So where can you get 48 sheets of paper for $12.50? These are my scraps. I always keep my scraps because you never know what you can use, right? So that's one of the papers, and then we're going to use a different color. And then I used our markers. I did Calypso Coral, and then I used our new cloud cover, which is similar, this color here, and pop this up. And then what you do, and that's how you, then whoever your recipient is, they can stand it up on their desk or tabletop. Isn't that cool? Now, one thing I did realize, I added, these are retired embellishments. I did add these and realized they're popped up a little bit so it doesn't lay flat. I would not suggest you do that, but you can, and just put a little thing over top of it. I always take a small piece of cardstock, the size that I put on the inside of the card, and then I put that over it when I go to mail it so that it's not quite as bulky. I'm digging for my embellishments, and I'm trying to decide what ones. I think I might do these little flowers here. We'll probably do some of those. All right, so with that being said, let's get started. So I'm just going to leave this sit right there. Hopefully that's out of the way, but we're enough that you can see it. I'll turn it a little bit at an angle. There we go. All right, I've used the Gallery Bloom stamp set. I love this set. Love, love, love it. It does have, I think this does have dies that came with it. I'm pretty confident it does. I'm using, in addition to make the circles, we're using the Stylish Shapes, and I use the, I want to say it was the, hang on, it's the one that is going to be 2.5 and 2 1/8. I think it's the second and the third, or fourth, if I'm not mistaken. No, the second and the third. It's a 2 1/2 and 2 1/8 of the circles. And then for this color here down at the bottom, I'm sorry, the white one here, I just used a 2-inch punch. So just to let you know that. And so that's what we're going to use to create this card. And then I'm going to show you a couple of things. If you make a boo-boo like I did, I'll show you a way that we can fix it. Okay. So, all right. So we're going to start. We're going to use this piece of paper here. And this is gorgeous, pretty, pretty. And then this is the back side. I was trying to think about trying to cut this, which is my plan, to try to get this cut. So half of it, we can show the trees, and then the other half is going to be the color here. So, and I'll show you that in just a second. So we're going to start with pecan pie, and we're going to start out with a piece that's 8.5 by 5.5. And then we're going to score this at 4 1/4. So let me bring this in because I didn't score it. Not that y'all don't know how to score, but I just figured I'd show you how to do that. All right, so we're going to score this at 4 1/4. Okay. Now we're going to, hang on a minute, my blade, you've got to make sure your cutting, your scoring blade is in the track, because that would be helpful, wouldn't it? So let's try that one more time. All right, now we're going to score this at 4 1/4. There we go. So now we've got our score. Okay, now I'm going to fold this. And then we're going to take our bone folder. Hang on a minute. Let me get to my bone folder without, there we go. And I'm going to give this a good crease. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to score from the center score line up to the right, top right corner. Okay, does that make sense? So we're going to go from here, if you can see that, up to here. So we're going to put that in our track. And this is where I made my boo-boo, because I wasn't reading my instructions properly. I cut it. So I'll show you what you can do with your boo-boos. I still made a card with it. It worked out, but I thought, well, that wasn't smart. All right. So make sure you're using your trimmer, not your cutting blade. So we're going to line up the score line at the center at 4 1/4. I'm going to put that in your track, in your cutting track, scoring track, or whatever, and then line up your point to do the same thing. Okay. I'm going to bring my scoring blade in just a little bit, because if it sits on the outside, I don't want it to kind of pull in and then tear my paper. So we're just going to take and we're going to score down to the corner and get that score nicely done. And there is how we create our folding piece. Okay. So that's how we do our card base. All right. So we're going to set this off to the side. Now, if you only use one sheet of paper, it's not going to get you your pieces that you need to go on both sides. So when you cut, we need to have a piece that's down like this, right? And then we need to have it flipped over on this side. And the only way you can do it if you use one sheet of paper is to have the same design on both. Well, that kind of defeats the purpose of what we're doing. So you need to use 2 sheets of paper. Now, if you don't want to use 2 sheets of paper, and if you've already cut out your designs like I did, because I made the mistake, then all you have to do is you can make a triangle and draw a line, do a pencil line and cut it on your trimmer, and then flip it over and do it on the other side. And then you'll have your pieces that will match. Okay. But that's just if you made a mistake like I did initially. So what you really want to do is take 2 sheets of your 6x6 paper, or whatever size paper it is that you're using. And you put one end upside down. So that way we're going to get it cut the way that we want it to be cut. So isn't that pretty clever, right? So what we'll do then is we're going to go ahead and we're going to score these on the angle. And this hopefully will give us the piece that we need. Oh, wait, before I do that, we got to cut this down. Okay. So we want this to be 4 inches, right? So anytime we add a piece of paper to the front of our card is going to be 4 inches by 5 1/4, 5 1/4, right? So I'm going to put this at 4. And then I'm going to put And I'm going to bring it in my paper trimmer, and I'm going to trim this down to 4 inches. Let me make sure I get this right. I got my 4 inches. I'm just thinking of my piece that I need for the, hang on a minute, the piece that I need for the bottom. Hold on. You know what? We're just going to go with it. The piece I need for the bottom. All right. So we're going to cut 4 inches, and then we're going to turn this. And hopefully I didn't mess this up. And we're going to put that there. And then we're going to put this at 5 1/4. All right. That gets us the size of the paper that we need. Okay. Now we're going to keep these pieces because we can use those for something else. Now I have my 2 pieces that I need. All right. Now we're going to line them up in the diagonal, and we're going to cut that down. So let's just make sure we've got them all tight together. Well, all the 2 of them. Except for I'm trying to hold it and get it in the trimmer. You know how that goes. All right, so we're going to line these up point to point. And let me think about this. If I want to do point to point, I want to make sure that I've got this point going that way. That one's going to go that way. Or do we want to turn it? Yeah, let's do it this way. So this will go there, that will go there. I might have it upside down, but either way, we'll make it work. Okay, so we're going to cut this diagonal to diagonal. I'm going to bring my paper cutter in again, just a little bit on the inside. And then I'm just going to cut up and then cut down. Okay, so now we have our triangles that we can decorate our card. So you're going to actually have 2. So you'll be able to get 2 cards. Plus you've got these scraps here. So you should be able to make at least 3 to 4 more cards. Because you got 1, 2, well, you got 1 card here because you're going to need the both. And then this will make 2 to 3 cards. Okay. So let's move that out of the way. All right. Now let's see what pieces that we need to do our card. So we're going to take this piece and see how that one's going to go right there. Right. And then I'm going to take, see, this is where I messed up, but that's okay. Because you know what I can do? I'm going to flip. Well, I know I did mess it up. If I flip this one over, we could do it like this. We could have this here. And then I could put my seam right there. I could do that. I think that looks fine. My idea was, or see, I was going to have my tree like that, but that kind of looks funny, right? Because it's like, well, what is that thing right there? But that's all right. I can do that. So let's do, I'll just flip it. I'm going to do my scene a little different. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it like that. And I'm going to put this one up top, and we'll put the street scene right there. So I think that's going to look nice. And then these, again, I can always use them. If I want to make another card, I could just do the same, or I could put, you know, put this up here, whatever. All right. Okay, so we're gonna put that off to the side. So let's go ahead and we're gonna glue these down. We're not gonna do any kind of layering per se. So let's go ahead and get those marked down. All right. And hey, Judy, good afternoon. Thank you for sharing. All right, and then we'll go ahead and add our adhesive to this, and then we're gonna pop these down. And it really is an easy card. Just have to remember how you want, what part of the design, if there's a design. It's probably better to do a design that's not, that doesn't really have an up and down pattern, but it's okay because you're going to make it work anyways. All right, so we're going to lay this down on the pecan pie. Did you all like the kimono cards that we made on Tuesday? Weren't those adorable? And the graduation card. I do have, I think I put it in. Yeah, I think I put it in there that you can make a shirt too, and I haven't done that, so I will do that and show you. It's just adding a little, making the paper a little bit bigger. All right, and then we're going to add this piece right here. This is such an easy, it really is like a wow card. I think that's cute. Kind of, yeah, whatever. It's fine. It will work. You know what? By the time we get done decorating it, it's going to be fine. All right, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to pull in. Whoopsie, we're going to pull in our, bringing in my stamps and my circles, and I'll go over these with you in just a minute. We're going to lay this down next. We want to have this on here because we've got to attach the circles to our inside once we get those stamped and colored. So let's go ahead and add this to the inside of our card. And this is 4 by 5 1/4. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add the piece of basic white. Now, don't forget, you guys, about the sweet offers of buy one and get one half off, or part of a suite. I will have my order that I ordered some new stuff in on the 19th. So I'll pop in and just show you what I didn't order a lot, but I did order another part of a suite and then another bundle that was part of a suite. So I got my 50% off. So I got a $52 item for $26. Can't beat that. All right, now, okay. So for those that are just joining, this is using the stylish shape dies. This one is 2.5. This one I did in petal pink, and this is 2 1/8. And then for the inside of my sentiment, for the inside of the card, this is using the punch that's 2 inches. So a 2-inch punch. Okay. Now I'm going to do, I'm just going to do the same design. I'm going to cut, which might look a little weird because I'm putting this with trees, but I'm going to use the same stamp set that I used for the set here, which is the Gallery of Blooms. I think it will be fine because we've got that. So I'm going to stamp this, and then I'm going to color this in petal pink. And then I'm going to use the cloud cover, which is kind of it's a bluish color. I'm going to use that for the leaves. Okay. And we're going to stamp it in Memento ink. We're going to use the black ink. Probably could do that brown, but let's do it in, well, you know what we could do? Let's do it in, let's do pecan. Let's do it in pecan and see what that looks like. If we don't like it, we'll just flip it over. All right. So we're going to bring this in. I'm going to put this off to the side for just a minute. We're going to use this card here, the big one. And if we don't like the way it looks, hang on, I got my scrap paper somewhere. Here we go. We'll just use this. If we don't like it, we're going to flip it over. It's no big deal. All right, so we're going to ink this up in the we're going to use pecan pie, and then we'll just color it. That kind of will pull those colors together. I guess I could use the black. Let's do brown. Why not? Because we're going to do petal pink. All right, so I'm going to lay this on here. Try to get as much on the circle that I can. And let's see, we'll try to get it as close to the top. All right, let's just go with that. All right, we're going to let that sit for a second. Let me move this out of the way so I don't wear this. You know how that goes. We'll put that back over there. Okay, we'll pull that up. There we go. Isn't that pretty? I think that's going to look nice. Yeah, I think that'll look nice. Okay, and we'll clean this off when we get done. Oopsie, sorry, trying to get things opened here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some coloring. Let's do some petal pink, and we're going to color, and then I think I'm going to color these blue. Well, you know what? I may not do the blue because it really doesn't pull in. I think I'll go back. I think I'm going to change my mind on the color. I think I'm going to do, oh, what color do we want? I don't want anything too, let's do olive. Old olive. I think that will be fine. That's a good leafy. Okay, so I'm going to pull in our dark petal pink, pretty in pink. I apologize, pretty in pink. I'm just going to go around and outline the inside of my flower, and just to give it, hopefully give it a little bit of depth here, and where the artist has made the lines as far as like crinkles or whatever in the petals. So I'm just going to go through like that, and I will come back and do the next one after I color. So now I'm going to come in and color. This is the light, pretty in pink. And we're just going to come in and color this. And I thought this hopefully will match, coordinate. I couldn't come up with, this is some of the colors that are in this paper. So I thought, well, why not? We'll just go with this. I really want to do a different color, but that's okay. And then I think I'm going to come back and do the inside right here. I'm going to do that with the darker. So I'm going to come back and do that real quick. And we'll just make this part darker pink. If we can see it. I could do it brown. Maybe I'll do it brown. I might do brown. I might do the pecan. All right, so this is our dark, pretty in pink. So again, I'm just going to come in here and do some highlighting, and then we'll do some coloring. We're going to get these petals right here and just do a little bit right there. All right. And let me go ahead and, now I like to do them last because that way they'll still, the ink will still be damp enough that it will won't dry before I get to the point of, I think I'm going to try and hit those in brown and see what that looks like. We're going to get this colored. I think that looks good. All right, so let me take in my light pecan. Let's see what that looks like on the inside. It can't hurt, right? It's going to only make it look pretty, and it's the dark stuff that's kind of growing. I do kind of like that. We'll do that with that one. Okay, and then we got one more we're going to do. So let's pull in our dark again. And this is a little bit larger one, so we're going to come in here and just do the same thing. I'm just trying to just go over what the artist has done as far as outlining my petals. And then I'll come back in with the lighter shade and do some coloring with that. Put a little bit there, and we don't want to color the leaf yet. And we'll just do a little bit right here. I'm going to make this a little bit dark just because it's on the edge. And I can. All right, so let's go ahead and pull in our other light pink. And I believe that that is, no, that's not part. Okay, so let's come in here with the light pink. All right. Y'all can see that. I'm making sure. But you can see how easy this, I love this Gallery of Bloom set. It's just really a beautiful stamp set. Sometimes I get ones that I really like and then I save them. I don't retire them when they retire. I do like that. Okay, so let's go. All right, we're going to do, I think I'm going to do this in the brown as well. Just a little bit, make sure I'm doing the light. I don't want to do the dark. So I'm just going to just color this in just a little bit. I kind of like the way that looks. All right, and then we'll come in with our, I'm going to use the old olive. Hopefully this isn't going to be too weird. I looked at Petal Pink in my little thingy here. So let's see. Let me pull up my color code. We don't want pretty and pink. We want Petal Pink. Let's see what color Petal Pink is going to go with. Hang on a minute. Let's look and see. Petal Pink. Yep, it says old olive, and it's got a wild wheat, which, you know, it's in the brown family. So we're going to go with the old olive. That just, oopsie, that just reconfirms what I thought we should do. Okay, so I'm going to, whoopsie, I'm going to come in. You can tell I've used these a while. All right, I'm going to come in with the dark old olive, and I'm just going to make a line on the vein just to give it a little bit of definition. And I'll just do one right there. And then I'll come back with the light. And I think usually my lights, I use the big tips quite often, so half the time they're not usable. So I'm just going to use the small one, and this is the light. So we're just going to come in and give this some color. We'll get our leaves colored in. And just to make sure we don't go into our pink. So we want to make sure we don't do that. We stay within the lines. You got to stay within your lines when you're coloring. Yeah, that does look pretty, doesn't it? Let's move that little thing out of the way. All right, let me just go back here. I think that helps. Let's add a little bit more there. Yeah, I think that looks nice. Okay, there we go. All right, I think that looks nice. All right, let's move this out of the way. Now let's go ahead and we're going to, let's stamp our sentiment. Now I am using this sentiment from the Right Words. This is a great set to have if you haven't gotten, purchased this. If you don't have a lot of sentiment stamps, I tend to not have a lot. So I thought this one was really good. It comes with 14 red rubber cling stamps. So it kind of covers a lot of things. And I'm going to do the one that says to someone who's worth celebrating, because I need to have birthday cards. So we're going to make this a birthday one. And I am going to use the black ink on this one because the black right there, well, actually it's on the inside, isn't it? Well, we'll do black. Hopefully that won't look too stark. We'll go with black. Maybe I'll stamp it off some. Let's see. Let's see what it looks like. Let's stamp it on the paper. All right, so if we stamp it once, it's going to look like that. If we stamp it twice, it's going to be a little bit more grayer. I say it's going to be up next to it. I'm going to go with the full strength. Why not? All right, so we're going to do that. Hopefully this guy, it should fit on here. It looks like it's not going to fit, but it actually does. Circles are deceiving. You know that? All right, so we're going to place that. Let me make sure I got my ink on it. I do. All right, Memento Black, and I'm going to place this right in the center. There we go. That'll work. All right, let's cut this, cover this up. You know how we are. Get the ink. Put that over here. Okay, so this is going to go on here. We're going to layer that. So let's put some adhesive on this. And then this one, we're going to pop up on dimensionals because that's going to be, let me get some around the edges. That's going to be our mechanism to hold that stand up. So we're going to put that right here. And I'm going to try to get it centered in there. All right. I don't think I'm going to add anything as far as bling to the inside. So let's pull in our dimensionals and let's go ahead and get this added. So we'll put a couple of dimensionals. I'm going to do 3. All right. Use the pecan. Ah, I did. I'm glad I looked at your thing, Judy, since I already did it. Thank goodness. Okay. Oh, use the pecan on the sentiment. Oh well, too late, Ethel. Okay, so this is going to go. I'm going to place it. Now, you can put it wherever you want, but I think I want the, you want it to lean a little bit, right? So if I hold my card up, I think, and I want to place it to the bottom so we have more room to write our sentiment. I'm just going to lay it there for a second before I press it down and put that down. I think that will look fine. This is a little crooked, I believe. So we're going to take that, lift it up, and just turn it just a little bit to get it straight. So let's do that. And I think that should work. Let's make sure. Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to push that one down. Okay, now this one, I found some ribbon that's retired. And I thought, well, this might look pretty behind. I did some ribbon on this one, or some linen, the linen twine on this one. So I was going to see what it may look like if we just loop some, because I think it really needs something. So let's go ahead and add some of this. And I'm just going to put some seal on the back and make sure we've got enough to cover wherever we decide we're going to put this. Oh, you know what? I did it again. This is the thing that I did yesterday. I put glue. Now see how I put glue all over this? Well, we don't want glue all over that because it's going to stick. So give me a second. I'm going to go get this 2-inch circle punch and we're going to fix that. My mistake. Again, it's okay. See, I'm showing you all the things to not do that I do. So that, don't put glue all over it. I get excited and I just stick the glue on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to punch the 2-inch circle out. It's a little bit smaller. Well, if I can get it to punch. It's an old punch, let me tell you. Where'd my circle go? Whoopsie, just lost part of my punch, but that's all right. We'll find it. All right, so I am going to add this. So I know this is where my thing is. So I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to place this right about here so that no adhesive gets stuck. They're not going to see it on the back because by the time we glue this down, it's going to be, it will be fine. So I am going to now learn, if I put my right here, I need to keep my adhesive on this side of my circle. So I'm going to add a little bit on this piece right here because I still have it on here to hold my ribbon. All right, so let's just do, see, I told you guys, this is how, this is how things go in the world of Dawn. So I'm just going to wrap this around, and, you've seen me do this before, and I really, I like how it looks, but I think I'm going to have to play with it. So let's do this. Let's place a little bit right here. I like wrapping it better because I'm not good at doing the loop-de-doopy thing, but we're going to loop it. We'll see what we can come up with for our creativeness here. May have to add a little bit more adhesive. I think that'll be fine. I think I'm just going to loop it like that. And then we'll put some more adhesive, and I'll cut this right down here. Let me get my scissors out. And we're going to cut that at an angle. And I'm going to cut this one at a little bit more of an angle. Okay. And again, this is retired. So, oh, actually, no, I need a little bit of glue right there. So let's put just a little smidge right there, and that's going to hold it in place. Come on. If you don't hold that glue just right, you know, it doesn't come out. So let's put that right about there. There we go. I think that looks fine. And we'll just trim this down. Let's see. Now that's going to be ready. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay this on here. And did I use dimensionals? Let me see. I can't remember if I used dimensionals or not on this thing. Did I? No, I did not. I laid it flat. So we don't want to have any bulk. Okay, so we're going to lay this flat. All right, so we have that, and we'll just adjust our ribbon. So we want to have our adhesive. I want the flower to go like that. So again, I'm just going to put the adhesive on this side. I'm going to go over my ribbon and put some right here, so it's going to stick to our paper. All right, so we're going to lay it right here, and then I'll trim up what I need. I'm going to lay it right about like that. I'm going to lightly lay it here in case I have to adjust it. And let's pull that up. I think that's going to be fine. We'll get that. I need to put a little piece of glue. Hang on. Right here behind this piece, because this guy's doing a little floppy. So let's put that there, and then we'll pull this up. You can see how it's sticking to everything. There we go. And we're going to put it just like that. That way it's going to work. I tell you what, the seal gets a hold of you and don't want to let go. All right, so I think that's going to be fine. I'm going to leave it just like that, and we're going to glue this right here. You can pop it up on dimensionals if you'd like. You're going to see a little bit of the ribbon on the back side. I don't think it's that big of a deal because whoever has this is not going to be, you know, it's going to be sitting on a desk or what have you. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to trim this down because this is not, I don't want to trim too much, but I do want to get more of an angle. And then this one will cut up just a tad. Well, we have some tails. All right, so there we go. There's our card. Isn't that cute? So look at, there we go. And then we're going to pop it up and ta-da. How's that? Isn't that an easy card? All right, so now let me just show you what I did when I didn't pay attention. I'll just show you my boo-boo. When I wasn't paying attention, when I told you should be scoring, and I did the cutting. Let me find my card. So I cut wrong because I laid my paper down and I cut like this, right? So when I cut my paper, then I realized, oh, well, that's not going to work because this guy's got to go that way and it's not going to fit. So anyway, so when I cut my card, I cut instead of scoring. So I thought, well, I just make it into a card, and I flipped it over because initially it was like that. And so I just flipped it over, and I used the paper from that, the gallery, the beautiful gallery, isn't it? Yeah, beautiful gallery. And I just cut out the 2 circles, 2.5, and I think it was a 2 1/4, 2.5, or it might have been whatever. And I colored them. And on this one, I just stamped it in black, in the Secret C. I didn't color anything. All I did was take the cloud cover Stampin' Blend, and I just colored it in the light color in the background. Doesn't that make that stand out? And then I stamped the other stamp in that set, which is the corner. It's got like the corner right here. I stamped that. I did the same thing. I left this white, and then I colored those in Lost Lagoon, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was Lost Lagoon. So that's how, so if you make a boo-boo, or this is just another way you can make a card, cut it at an angle, cut your paper, and then I just used some of the scraps that I had and decorated the inside. So that's if you make the mistake and cut what I did and it doesn't work. So I just used my triangles and made another card. So there you go. Here is our easel, diagonal easel card that is easy to create. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And we use the Gallery of Blooms stamp set. And I was going to put some embellishments on here, but I don't think we need anything. You know, you could put a few right there, but I think I'm going to leave it just the way it is. Oh, you're right. You could put one on the inside of the card. You're exactly right. I know. I know this one is gorgeous. I love that one. It actually had the white flower underneath, but I covered it up. But I just really like this. I love this paper. So, okay, everyone. We are done, and it took almost 45 minutes. Probably 10 of that was me talking. So thank you all for spending part of your afternoon or your lunch hour with me. I greatly appreciate it. And I will see you next Tuesday evening for our weekly Facebook Live. And if you haven't already, I'm just going to do another reminder. If you haven't already, or if you have it in your heart to make a donation to the Poodle and Pooch Rescue, please visit my personal page, Dawn Duval. And there is a little article there with a link that you can donate. And again, thank you to those that have donated. I greatly appreciate it. All right, everybody, I'll see you Tuesday evening. And then I believe next Saturday is going to be Creation Sketch Day. So I'll put out an email on that as well. All right, have a great Friday. Enjoy your Flag Day tomorrow and Father's Day on Sunday. And then I will see you back on Tuesday. All right, have a great day. Thanks again.